Fast cars, fast food, caviar, and fast ways to relaxation. We are redefining luxury living here on Off Duty today. Hi there, I'm Wendy Bounds, and I'm here at the Miraval pop-up spa space in New York City. Forget about back rubs, forget about facials, though I may be trying those in just a minute. I want you to think wooden hammers, Vibra acoustics. We talked just a moment ago to Kristen Bellstrom of Smart Money. She told us about how spas are going extreme. What's the most outlandish thing you saw?
Well, by far the best, or the most interesting thing that I did anyway, was to go to Miraval and try out a relatively new treatment called the Sensorium.
The Sensorium?
I know. It's a vibroacoustic therapy treatment. So essentially you're in a specially designed chair that kind of straps you in.
This is what they do to criminals when they're like getting up for the final hours?
The chair is a little frightening when you first see it. And then you're wearing headphones where you hear like a live mix of sound, and the sound is actually travels through your body through the chair.
All right, and so the point of this is to help you do what? To feel sort of cocooned, safe? What's the purpose behind this?
Well, I mean, I think everybody has a slightly different reaction to it, but it's really one thing that they say at Miraval is it takes you into sort of a meditative state.
Now, these extreme spa treatments, I mean, are they more expensive than sort of the ordinary massage?
Yeah, you do see that they're more expensive. We saw everything from like $250 for less than an hour up to $2,000 for a massage that actually involves 10 different people working on.
10 people?
Yes.
Oh, I'm trying to see if my body's like long enough for that
I
to
know.
happen. Did you do that?
I did not try that one, and I'm actually fine with that.
Talk about hands-on. All right, so quickly, let's tick off some of the other sort of extreme things you saw there.
Well, so that's one other treatment that's out there. It's not a Miraval, it's at a different resort.
Right.
We also saw massages in the dark, actually done by blind therapists. We saw a cold room where it actually snows while you're in there relaxing.
That sounds incredibly relaxing.
A type of acupuncture that's done with sort of like a stake and a little hammer as opposed to needles. Just sort of all over the map.
So you have to, this begs the question, of course. I mean, do people really find this relaxing? I mean, why are people so gung-ho to pay money to have somebody, you know, put snow on them, blindfold them, and tap them with a hammer?
Well, what I think from interviewing people about this is that it's really about the fact that spas have been around for a while now. And it's no longer, you know, doing an unusual type of massage is no longer really enough for some people who've been going, and they're still looking for new experiences. And honestly, there is something about sort of coming home and bragging about your vacation and saying you'll never guess what I did. Now, in an extreme Thai massage, Peter here, he would be suspended from the ceiling, but this being New York City, everybody's a little nervous after the Spider-Man incident, so we're going to play it safe. Now, we've brought you luxury watches, we've brought you luxury jets. What about caviar to go? On the streets of Hong Kong, it is a luxury anyone can try. That feels
good. Orders up. 2 caviar dishes zip to the table. One at a Hong Kong diner, the other at the city's exclusive Cepage restaurant. One goes for $6. Think luxury fast food, a medley of toast, cold butter, and lumpfish caviar from Denmark, best washed down with a glass of milk. The other costs more than $40. Chinese caviar curls over a creamy potato, accented with Spanish capers, smoked salmon, and Japanese chives, best washed down with a glass of fine champagne. The man behind this exclusive caviar dish is Sébastien Lepenoy. The chef spends close to $10,000 each week on caviar and insists on trying every can.
All the can. When I open, I try.
Are you the only one who's allowed to try?
Yes.
Lifestyle reporter Amy Ma puts the chef's refined palate to work, abducting him from his gourmet kitchen to taste test Hong Kong's unique brand of caviar to go.
So I'm told that this is the type of caviar we're eating today, and on the back it says it's lumpfish caviar. Do you know what kind of caviar that is? It's from Denmark.
Of course, you have 24 kind of fish who can do a caviar. This is one kind of fish. It's from Denmark. Honestly, I never tried this one. I cannot yet say to you it's good or it's not good. But sure, yes, of course, it's a caviar.
Yeah.
Yes.
So says Nora Seafood. Do people in Hong Kong like caviar? Are they aware of it?
4 years ago, when I arrived in Hong Kong, the caviar was expensive, and it was just for the elite of the Hong Kong people. But now, what is wonderful, the caviar is cheap. And I will say it's thank you for China, because if now the caviar in the world is cheap, it's because China is a big producer of caviar. With the caviar from China, all the prices in the world go very down. And now you can go in this kind of cafe and have a caviar to try a caviar. Everybody can try a caviar now in Hong Kong.
Right. But it's a lot cheaper in here than in your restaurant. Should we go ahead and order one then?
Of course.
All right.
Wow, wonderful.
Thank you. So this is the traditional caviar with toast. How can you tell if a caviar is good? I'm looking at, none of the eggs are broken, they're all in one piece.
You try always the caviar with your eyes. When you look your caviar, the egg must be very nice. Because when the eggs are broken, it means in the box, in the first box, in the origin box, it's the bottom of the box.
And then when you're trying the flavor, are you looking for a snap, a saltiness?
The caviar must be, it's not crispy, it's not the good names, but it must be.
Should we give it a try? Very buttery.
Yeah.
For me, it tastes like salted butter with a little bit of seaweed on toast. Does it, kind of?
Yes, the eggs are quite interesting. Of course, they are very small, but on the top of the tongue, it's very funny. We can play with this kind of caviar.
It really isn't that bad.
Yeah.
For kids who don't know any better. So thumbs up? Thumbs up.
The chef approves, but it is missing one key ingredient: charm. Best found back at his restaurant under the glow of chandeliers.
So what do you think, honestly, about this compared to the caviar that we had at the shop?
The price was very reasonable. The caviar for this price was perfect. You come at Cepage, of course, the price will be not the same. When I serve here, it's like a show. I must to sell a show with my dish to prove why my price will be expensive.
And what do you think the Asian mentality is with your customers?
Here in Asia, you cannot lie to the customer.
Yes.
When you sell this kind of dish with this price, the customers, they know very, very well what is a caviar, what is a good caviar, what is a bad caviar now.
Now, who are the biggest fans of caviar? Do you think they're women?
Women.
Women?
Sure, 100%. Donc the presentation must be nice.
Yes.
And the women very like this.
Yeah.
I take care about the color. I use some little bit flour to give some color.
Yeah.
The salmon give a color. The Japanese chive give a color. All is a question of color.
What happens to the caviar if you serve it with just plain toast?
Usually, I never serve the caviar on the plain toast. I will serve the plain toast on side.
Yes. I will become the biggest caviar snob now, thanks to you, Chef.
And I know someone who wouldn't mind a little caviar with his luxury vehicles. I'm talking about Mr. Dan Neal, and here's his 360 view of the new BMW 3 Series.
BMW's 3 Series is the best-selling sport compact sedan in the world. The metric by which all other sports sedans are measured. And the electric steering, it's very communicative and direct. Hydraulic steering has a great virtue of being very communicative because you actually have a hydraulic link between the column and the wheels. That's 240 kilowatts, so that's about 200.
Oh, it's in kilowatts?
It is in kilowatts, yeah. About 270.
Of course, it's in a unit nobody knows.
I know it.
Nobody but you.
And so, now we have to think about what this car accomplishes. There is no engineering without cost containment. To talk about one without the other is meaningless. This is where BMW has to really massage the margins. The chassis seems to be, you know, right where it needs to be for a sports sedan, but the tires on this thing are very, very dialed back, so the chassis is much more capable. How long can they keep it up is the question, and can they keep it up while they're still pulling out, you know, a fair amount of profit from these cars? Can they make a great sports sedan and still get more money out of it? I don't know.
It's only at about 160 kilowatts there.
Yeah, watch out for your chipmunks.
Yeah.
All right, well, Peter's giving me a good workout here, but a little bit earlier I spoke to the folks behind the Miraval Clarence Spa to find out what the method is behind this delightful madness of extreme spa treatments. What is sort of the trickiest, most intricate new treatment, in your opinion, that you all have there?
Our trickiest and intricate new treatment is called Naga Thai. It was developed by Peter Bird. He's one of Miraval's massage therapists and our spa director, Simon Markser. And it combines these silk scarves that hang from the ceiling in sort of a Cirque du Soleil fashion. And it's combined with traditional Thai massage on a mat on a floor. And they use these silk scarves to wrap around your body and parallel themselves and position their weight against you in a way that can stretch you in a more profound way than a traditional Thai massage.
Why is the traditional massage and facial not enough for some people? Why do they want to go to these extremes to have somebody hanging from the ceiling and massaging them, or having someone tap them with a hammer?
You know, the new millennial generation views massages and pedicures and manicures as something that's standard nowadays. And so to be able to take a service and make that modality something that they can't get anywhere else, and then combine the effects that you get to last 2 or 3 days long as opposed to 2 or 3 hours after a traditional treatment, that's the reason why they're coming.
Are some of these people just type A personalities, and when they go to a spa they want to accomplish something new that they can talk about and go home and tell their friends?
I think the type A personality learns something about themselves in ways that they're not sure of, whether it's an interaction with a horse or it's jumping off one of our high ropes challenge courses. That's the invigoration that they get.
And with this new spa, with sort of this new focus on extreme treatments, what sort of a fine line did you have to walk, you know, with the brand of Clarence to make sure that people still associated it with beauty, with relaxation, that it didn't sort of become something that it wasn't?
Well, you know, I think for us, what was so great about this project is that it really has allowed us to honor the spa heritage that we have as a brand. What most customers don't recognize is that our brand started in the spa. So when we were speaking to Miraval in the early part of our negotiation 18 months ago, it really gave us an opportunity to kind of fully explore everything that we are as a brand.
All right, well, the massage is done, and now I'm getting exfoliated with the Clarence Detoxifying Red Berry Mask. What is in this recipe?
This has dried cranberries and dried red raspberries, so it has lots of antioxidants, and it's very detoxifying as well.
I'm getting a little bit hungry, and speaking of recipes, yesterday we talked to Gail Monahan about how to tackle some of the toughest recipes out there. The truth is, every good cook needs the right tools, and right now we're going to show you some high-end hand mixers that can tackle even the most finicky of batters. Maybe even like this. our Fashion Week coverage, and boy, I know we did have a lot of it. Did you ever find yourself wondering what is the point of it all? Well, in tonight's Fashion Confidential, our own Christina Binkley, she gets to the bottom of it and she finds out what happens when the lights go down and the models go home.
One of the questions I get asked a lot about fashion is, what are all these fashion shows for, and how do they fit into the scheme of things? People write to me and say, I want that dress, where can I find that dress? The truth is, these fashion shows are prototypes. The designers are saying, this is my best shot at what you should be wearing, in this case, next fall. And as soon as the show is over, they pack up all those clothes and they take them to a showroom, and store buyers come in and piece through and say, we'll buy these sweaters and we'll put together outfits. They're thinking about how they're going to merchandise their store. And then the designer goes back and orders the fabric. Somebody makes the fabric, and then the designer takes the fabric and cuts it and sews it and makes it into garments. So we're here now, we're looking at fall 2012 clothes is how people refer to this. So there'll be a period of about a month. Designers call it market. They'll say we're in market. Designers will take those clothes and have them in showrooms in New York for several days so that American buyers can visit them. And then they'll set up in showrooms in Milan and Paris and sell to European and often Asian store buyers. That is the moment at the end of all that when they say, yes, we can absolutely produce these pants, these dresses, these shoes. There's an Italian factory owner waiting for the phone call saying, yes, we want so and so many thousand meters of the blue silk print. And then that fabric will be shipped to wherever the factory is. That might be Italy, it could be Shanghai, it could be New York. And somebody will cut it and sew it. So the Paris shows will be over the first week of March. All the market weeks should be pretty much over by the end of March. And then the production process will happen in April, May, June. The clothes will start shipping in July and be in stores in August. The collection that designers are showing today is very, very quickly going to be yesterday for them. They've moved on already as soon as that's out the door. Sometimes it's hard for them to even talk about what they did a week ago because they're living so much in the future.
And Michael Jordan, number 23, he is selling his Chicago mansion for a cool $29 million. I can't see it, but you guys can. Take a look.
Former NBA star Michael Jordan has put his longtime Chicago area home on the market. The residence has 9 bedrooms, more than 15 bathrooms, and 5 fireplaces. The compound, with more than 56,000 square feet of space, includes a sophisticated indoor basketball complex with a regulation-size court, specially cushioned hardwood flooring, and competition-quality lights. His famous jersey number, 23, is engraved on the gates of the more than 7-acre property, which has a tennis court, putting green, and deep-water pond. The asking price is $29 million.
And that is it for today's WSJ Off Duty. I will see you all back here tomorrow. I hope you'll click above to subscribe. When I see you next, I will be exfoliated and fully relaxed. Until then, I'm going to take a nap.